Hello and welcome to Just Interesting podcast episode number 118, the 118th podcast of the Just Interesting show. Joining me, Robin, R. Martin, and Alex. How are you, fellas? Starting with Martin.
I'm well. The question is, how are you, Robin, after your, well, quite frankly, terrible ordeal?
I'm recovering. I'm okay. Still some sore areas, but with enough cream and gentle caressing, apparently I will get better. So thank you. Thank you. I haven't caught any viruses transferable between animal and man. I heard some scurrilous rumors about what was happening, but it's okay. The viruses don't transfer.
I'm glad to hear that.
How are you, Alex?
Well, yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks, Robin. But aside from viruses, how about like you're kind of you seem much calmer. You seem much calmer than you were, and that's good to see. And I hope you know you're dealing with your internal struggles as well as the external struggles. You know, and that's all I'll say about it. But yeah, I'm really happy to see that you've put the rage aside.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks. Yeah, I've
you said some things I don't know if we can unsay, to be honest.
Well, as I've been advised that it's best just to move past those things, Alex. And I feel like having gone through this ordeal to try to make myself a better person, I really don't appreciate you bringing these things up again. So, you know, let's just draw a line under it, Alex. Let's just draw a line under it. And for those of you wondering what we're talking about, it's Deathbed Confessions time, and we'll be discussing some of the most mysterious, puzzling, and intriguing deathbed confessions in history, I suppose, is the way to phrase that. But before we do that, we'll be revealing things that we've learned this week, as well as addressing our favorite comments that you've made on our videos and podcast episodes past. I was going to say past and present, but actually, yes, because this is live and we have people in the comments, wonderful people joining us live, and feel free to chat away in the comments and ask us any questions and react to what we say. Anything you like. P. Craig, James Linton 17, Captain Wonky, Aaron Lee, C.S. Drummerson, Brian Jenkins. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, and please fire away with any questions or comments that you have.
Well, C.S. Drummerson says, my girlfriend is in the car, so keep the language clean, fellas. So I just want to say, hello, C.S. Drummerson's girlfriend. Welcome to the podcast.
Why?
And bollocks. So...
you know what, Martin?
Okay.
I think we've passed the 8-minute mark, so I think we're okay. You can say those words.
Okay, I can say that. All right, okay. Yeah. Good.
Excellent. What else will we be doing? The weekly quiz, of course. There's 3 of us now. We can do a quiz. Wow, amazing.
What's a quiz?
We can finish this episode with a quiz. This is incredible. So those of you joining us live, and those of you listening to us on a podcast platform of your choice at a later date or watching us on YouTube, please do feel free to join in the quiz when the time comes. But in addition to the quiz, we shall, of course, be having a riddle and revealing the answer to said riddle at the end of the episode. So, fellas, would you like a riddle?
It depends.
I'd love a riddle.
Is it one of your crazy... Yeah, from this century?
As long as it's from this century.
I don't know if it's from this century, but it's definitely from the past century.
Ancient riddle in a Celtic language.
It's not, sadly, as well. Full disclosure, I forgot about the riddles. I've been away so long, I forgot that they were a thing. And then, as we sat down, you said, "Have you got a riddle?" And I said, "Oh no." So I have hastily grabbed a very high quality riddle for you to solve, and not at all a medieval one. Which don't worry.
Let's find out what
they shall
beverage
return.
Elizabeth is drinking. Let's do it.
So this is a nice and easy riddle to ease us back into things, and by us I mean me. A girl. Okay. It's already gone wrong. It's already gone wrong.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. A girl fell off a 20-foot ladder, but she wasn't hurt. How come?
She's Mr. Blobby.
I mean, given the caliber of riddles we've had in the past, Martin, that actually could be a legitimate answer. But I'm not going to reveal the solution until the end of the episode. But for all of you, feel free to speculate at home, to guess, to figure it out. The riddle, once again, the question is, a girl fell off a 20-foot ladder, but she wasn't hurt. How?
I'm just imagining a 20-foot tall girl with like just gangly legs that are like 20 foot tall.
I mean, I feel like there are...
And to her, it's a step ladder.
there are quite a few reasons why she wouldn't be hurt, right? There were beanbags underneath. She fell onto cushions.
All I can say, guys,
fine.
is I have one answer written in front of me, and that's
Okay.
the only answer I will accept.
Oh, good.
Oh, man.
Good.
Excellent.
High quality,
Well,
as
I-
we say. Keeping the quality up
I-
there. Nice.
I have a little bonus riddle for both of you.
Do you?
Why-
Cheeky. Cheeky, almost anticipating it wouldn't be a good riddle. Okay.
Why is this week special? Why is this week
Oh,
special?
why is this week
For me in
special?
particular.
Oh, I was going to say 'cause it's my
Is
dad's
it-
birthday, but that's probably not special to you.
Oh, happy birthday, Martin's dad.
Thanks to
Well,
my
yeah,
dad.
I mean, that's what I had in mind.
I'm pretty I'm pretty
course.
sure this. Oh, wait a second. I think I do know.
Go on.
I was gonna say, is it your birthday? But I know it's not your birthday. But
It's way more important than
I
that.
just remembered. Is it a certain cinematic event, Alex?
Oh, of course.
Something's coming out
Of
this
course,
week.
of
in the
can't
cinema.
believe it. I can't
X.
believe it. Fast X.
Fast and Furious 10 is in cinemas
Nice.
No, Alex.
this Friday.
Fast X is the first one in the
Fast
series.
X,
It's just called Fast X.
Wait, well, but by Friday, do you mean midnight on Thursday? So I assume that's when you'll be going. Like midnight on Friday morning, right?
I did look for midnight releases, but there are no midnight shows.
Oh.
So I
We'll see about
Oh,
that. I'll
so
see if I
you're-
can
have
find.
to go on Friday.
Let's see if I can find one for you. It might be in like Peterborough or something, but we'll make sure you're there. Don't worry.
So you are stoked for this one because
Stoked, maybe stoked.
FF9, you didn't really. You took you a while to catch up on that one, but Fast X, you're going to be there opening day.
Don't put words in my mouth, Robin.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm very hyped. I'm very hyped for it, as should everyone be. We're
Yeah.
not sponsored by Fast and Furious. I just
We're
want to
not.
say.
No.
I wish we were, but we're not.
Alex. I mean, not to bump up expectations too much, but I saw someone on Twitter who had written that Fast and Furious 10 is the Avengers Endgame of the Fast and Furious world.
I mean, Brie
be
Larson
excited.
is in it, so yeah, and Vin Diesel. They're both in Avengers, aren't
And
they?
Jason Momoa.
Was
He's
he-
not
it's-
in Avengers, but
He's not in Avengers,
he
no.
is in.
Let's just list the cast. Let's just spend the rest of the episode because it would take that long. The cast for these things is so huge now; it'll take forever. I do have a question though, Alex. Where do you stand on the whole? This could be a fact that I learned this week because it's long been known that Fast X was the first part of 2 as the grand finale of the Fast and Furious saga. And then yesterday, I think, Vin Diesel hinted in an interview that this 2-part finale might become a 3-part finale.
What?
How do you
Do you know what?
how do you feel about that?
If any other films were trying to pull that off, I would be very skeptical, and I'd say no, that's terrible. That's going to ruin it. But I mean, Fast and Furious films are basically so.
The one long action scene, so you might as well just cut it out wherever you like.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, fine, yeah, do it.
I don't
Okay.
think the
More
narrative
content.
doesn't rely on. It is not going to feel expanded by, or sorry, it's not going to feel extended or bloated by just adding more in, is it? Surely, it's all about the action.
True, yeah, it's not that kind of franchise. Yeah,
Yeah.
So
It's
I'd
already-
say go for it.
go
Yeah,
for it.
that's fine.
Okay. Wow.
Split it into its own It's like one film split into 10 parts.
Yeah, it basically is. Yeah.
They've got the next 20 years planned making this one film.
I just hope they fully commit though, and every one of them is called a Fast X with a subtitle. Yeah, so it's Fast X,
Yep.
Fast X 2, Fast X 3. That's what I want this. I
So
want
is
them
this
to do
12?
that.
Everyone's going to think, so that's 12 and that's 13. Where's 11?
There is no 11. They just skipped 11. But that would address the fact that they've got the Hobbs and Shaw spin-off, and actually then the numbering kind of works out in that people say, oh, we're ranking the 10 Fast and Furious movies, but there's only Fast 9 is the highest number they get to. But if you do that, Fast X 2, Fast X 3, then you end on film 13.
You've got a mess.
Call it film 13. you got an organised mess. An
They
organised
don't
mess.
want to say Fast and Furious 11 at any point. They're just going to go into Roman numerals now. They're not saying the numbers at all. It's just the
Yeah.
X,
Yeah.
Yes.
X1. Yeah.
For sure.
That'll be it, yeah. Okay, so speaking of things we learned this week, that was a bonus fact for everyone. What did you learn this week, fellas? Let's start with you, Martin.
Yeah, well, I learned a little bit about a certain jellyfish.
Oh, okay.
And this jellyfish is known as, sorry, that sounded weird. This jellyfish is
What's
known as
jellyfish?
the immortal jellyfish. And it's native to the Mediterranean Sea, but can be found elsewhere, apparently.
Okay.
So, what makes this jellyfish a little bit different? The species, I'm going to butcher this completely, but it's called the Turritopsis dohrnii, also known as the immortal jellyfish, is that it has the unique ability of transdifferentiation. So when it's faced with conditions like aging, when it gets hurt, or when it's in like stress, basically in its environment, the jellyfish is able to transform from its like full form into its earliest form, which resets the whole aging process of the jellyfish.
What?
So it goes from the adult stage, which is called the Medusa stage, back to the polyp stage.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so cells go this crazy transformation.
It can just do a do-over whenever it wants.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I messed up my life. Let's go again.
Exactly.
I'll do things better this time.
Yeah, and it can do it indefinitely. It's like basically like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
So the jellyfish can, of course, be killed if it gets a disease or gets eaten, or environmental factors end up killing it. But in theory, it can rejuvenate over and over again indefinitely if the conditions are right.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what I learned this week about an immortal jellyfish. Can we pump some of this into our veins and just become?
It sounds like an obvious solution, doesn't it?
Generating humans, exactly. Yeah. Easy. Yeah.
Aging reversed, immortal humans, which is exactly what the planet needs right now.
Yep, loads and loads of immortal humans. Go back into that little pulp little cell ball, and then regenerate into a human.
I guess it all depends, though, if you retain the memories that you have now.
Hopefully,
yeah. Your brain would kind of be mushed, wouldn't it?
If your brain reverts back as well, because then what's the point?
Do you even count as
an idiot kid again?
Are you the same person?
Yeah,
that's true.
They're not really immortal. Sure, the cells are still the same, but yeah, or are they? This is the whole Star Trek transporter question, isn't it? If you destroy a person to then recreate them as a carbon copy, are they the same person? And this is the same cells, but they're all reverting back to their younger cells, and you're just a baby. That would be funny though, if in the middle of the street, you're just walking around, having a nice day, doing your shopping, and then just people around you are just randomly popping into babies, their big adult clothes collapsing around them. You just got all these screaming children around you. It's like, what is going on? And you get used to it, and it's like, oh, they're just reverting. Got stung by a mosquito. Okay.
Oh, those kids always reverting.
Yes, damn kids. Honestly, I can't tell the difference between people's children and adults now. They just look the same.
What do you think the average age for reverting would be? Would you get in a cycle of people getting to like 7 or 8 years old, getting into a bit of a strop with their parents and be like, I'm reverting there. No, don't revert. Don't revert. I'm reverting. Or would they actually be like 50, 60-year-olds, like, actually, my back's gone. I'm starting to feel a bit,
Yeah.
bit weathered.
Do they revert fully back to being a baby in this state? Do you imagine? Because that would be weird if they did retain their memories. I'm imagining like Jeff Bezos does it, and then he's just a baby, but he's still
just
in,
boss
like,
baby.
He's still in like the boardroom. Yeah, exactly, boss baby.
Yeah, he does look like a baby anyway, doesn't he? So he wouldn't have to do much reverting. Yeah, I don't know. In my mind, it's just kind of going into a clump of disgusting mush, and then kind of growing out of that again.
T2 Terminator style.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I like it.
That's my plan for this regeneration anyway.
It's nice when there's 3 of us. The podcast adopts this way looser structure where we just go off on tangents.
Isn't it great for all of our listeners? We promise we'll get to Deathbed Confessions eventually. It's fine. It's fine. So, Alex, what did you learn this week?
Well, I learned a little fact about the royal family and Her Majesty the Queen, who just recently passed away.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Glad you mentioned it.
Yeah. I was about to ask which Majesty the Queen, because we've got a new one now, haven't we? Yeah.
Well, we got a king now. Oh, no, we do have a queen.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it works. But no, I'm not referring to Camilla. This is
She's not really, though, is she?
about-
She's a bit of a false queen, isn't she?
Yeah, exactly. It
A
doesn't.
false widow. A false widow, as you were.
Oh my gosh.
With a fraud. I don't have anything against her.
I'm not, where did that come from? Where's this come from?
She's, it's the bloodline's what makes someone the royal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
So,
doesn't count.
you
so
marry
she's
into the... You marry...
but you're not suddenly the queen, are you? You're not really the queen. You're not the head of state.
No, but she's the queen. That's because she's married to the king.
No, well, yeah, but what? Right, okay. I want to go, but then okay, why wasn't Prince Philip called King Philip?
Because in our wonderfully...
Nah,
is
don't
it
give me
perfect?
don't give me a logical answer.
Okay, I won't
let's just
bother
roll with
answering.
it.
I won't tell you. Yeah, okay.
I'm sure there is a definite. Of course, there's an answer.
Maybe,
I just want to be ignorant of the real answer and just say, well, why not?
Why can't the man be king? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry,
No,
Alex. What was your? Yeah.
I think we get it. But I learned this week that there is a secret letter that Queen Elizabeth II wrote.
It's not secret anymore,
that's
is it?
That's locked in a vault, and it can't be opened until 2085.
Really?
And this was
Gotcha.
addressed to the Lord Mayor of Sydney to honour the refurbishment of the Queen Victoria building in 1986. She wrote this. And,
Okay.
I'm just thinking,
What on
she could have
earth?
wrote anything in that.
Yeah.
Presumably, she would know that she's probably going to be dead by then.
Probably, yeah.
So, I mean, look, the chances are she just wrote standard boilerplate. Oh, I
Yeah.
hope your city's prospering and
Yeah,
thriving.
yeah.
But this would have been the perfect opportunity for her to play some games and been like,
Yeah.
Philip's a lizard, I'm a lizard. And 2085, only 5 more years until I return. I'll
Yeah.
see you all soon.
Yeah, she could have done some Isaac Asimov Foundation stuff, with this letter. It's 100 pages predicting the next 300 years. And was like, oh my gosh, she knew what's going to happen.
Exactly, right? Yeah, she could be the next Nostradamus.
What of all the occasions to write a secret letter that won't be revealed until 2085, nearly a century after your actual death, of all the occasions, a letter to the Lord Mayor of Sydney on the refurbishment of a building.
Yeah, yeah.
Dear Lord Mayor, the refurbishment got me rather horny. I was so wet, Philip and I had a go in the toilets whilst you weren't looking.
Oh my god.
But I mean, but this is it. She could have thought sense of humor, didn't she? So she could have thought, well, I'm not going to be around to see this. I could just say something
anything I like,
absolutely outrageous.
Yeah.
She could say,
true.
I hate Sydney. I've always hated it. The Lord
Rubbish.
Mayor's a dick.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like the idea of, there's someone who we used to work with, you probably remember this, that in any kind of card, he would always just write, well done. Doesn't matter what it is. So it'd be like a leaving card, well done. Birthday card, well done. Having a baby, well done. And then I think someone got made redundant, is well done in the card. It's like, come on, man. You've got to write something else. You can't just write well done. So I'd love it if you just opened it and just said, well done.
That's all it is. Yeah. Well done.
Well done.
Not
it.
even
been
signed.
waiting-
It's not
been
signed.
waiting for 100 years for this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Oh
But
man.
that's what I learned this week, and I just thought it would be interesting to speculate when the time comes.
That is,
What do you
yeah.
say?
That's fascinating. We definitely, if we're still around, we'll do a podcast about that. 2085. Here we come. Oh, I think I'll be dead by then. Statistically. Unless the jellyfish thing works out. Who
Well,
knows?
there are
Who
always
knows?
options.
We could still be here.
Mhm.
Oh, man.
We'll be doing this podcast and we'll be younger than we are now. It'll be
I
amazing.
love this. The synergy going on between your facts, fellas, is fantastic. This is good. They're feeding into each other. Although normally, I feel like you've got into the habit lately of you both pick the same topic kind of area. Obviously we pick our facts separately because we learn them. We learn them. There's no real control over this. But you two have a habit of great minds think alike, I guess. Tonight they're different, but they still synergize. It's lovely. It's really nice.
I think having done this podcast for several years now, I think we probably just have got onto, all three of us are on the same wavelength when it comes to finding out these facts. That's probably what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although jellyfish and the Queen leaving a letter, those are a bit different. I'd say.
They are very different. That's my point. They're very different. But the fact that yours is about the future and will we live long enough to see it, and Martin's is about reversing aging, it's like, whoa, goes together. That's what I
The
meant.
question is, Robin, will the synergy last? Can you complete the triangle? What did you learn?
Or at least a good, a good segue. Is there any kind of segue that works?
Well, as it happens, mine is also a royal-related fact.
What?
So I'm doing a swapperoo with Martin, and I'm syncing with Alex's fact. The theme here, it's about Henry VII, that good old King of England that everybody knows and loves.
The famous one, of course.
Not even Henry VII, actually, because people do know who he was. He was Henry VIII's dad. I mean Henry VI. See, even I've forgotten already. So about Henry VI, and this is a fact. This is why I've forgotten, because it's so fresh in my mind. I literally just learned this an hour before we started recording. So I was at a talk. I was just at a lecture being given by someone about Richard III, and as part of his lecture, he mentioned Henry VI, who was the last monarch of the House of Lancaster. Anyone who knows a bit of British history and is familiar with the Wars of the Roses, big civil wars back and forth between the House of York and the House of Lancaster. One had a white rose, one had a red rose as their symbol. That's why it's called the War of the Roses. And Henry VI was the last Lancastrian king, and he died and was given a pretty cheap burial in Chertsey, somewhere in England. And then when Richard III was king, for some reason that we don't know, he decided to dig him up and rebury him inside St. George's Chapel inside Windsor Castle. Much more appropriate burial place for a king of England. And then he was disinterred and reburied in Westminster Abbey later on by Henry
God, just let the guy rest.
Let the guy rest, exactly, this poor fella. But then in 1910, out of curiosity, some historians, archaeologists, decided to dig up his bones again. And
man, those burial people, they got to eat, haven't they?
Yeah, and they found out throughout...
Not the body.
Not unsurprisingly, over this whole process of being buried and reburied, he'd gone from being a complete human in one piece to being a jumble of pieces, because they kind of progressively packed him into smaller boxes over time. But more than that, they found that his skeleton wasn't entirely complete. Some of it had rotted away, but his entire right arm wasn't in the box with all his other bones. Like, there's no right arm here. But there is.
Who's got his arm?
But there is, instead of a right arm, the humerus of a small pig.
I thought you were going to say two left arms.
No, it was a pig bone instead. So the person giving the lecture suggested that it was their little favourite theory was that at some point in the past, someone had, like, they're transporting his body and like, oh crap, where's his arm? Where's his arm? It's like, grab that pig leg, grab that pig leg and shove it in there instead.
No one will know.
No one will know.
They didn't for a long time.
They didn't, not until 1910 when they.
No, they'd be long gone.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So that was my fact. That amused me.
Just imagine that, then putting together the skeleton, laying it all on the ground and being like, shit, his arm's missing.
Oh dear.
And then someone wrote a letter. They wrote a letter about it as well, but they said, don't open this up until, the 1900s. And that's what they confessed to it in there.
Yeah,
See, just trying to link the facts.
It's all coming around. Yeah, it's all connected. Everything is connected. So thank you for sharing your facts. Thanks for listening to mine. And thank you everyone for listening and joining us live in the comments. Looking at the live chat, actually, we do have a little bit of a housekeeping suggested by Jonah Isaac, who says, Alex, your microphone is a bit quieter than Martin's and mine's. Don't know if you can...
I've turned it up a little bit.
Wacky gain up at all.
Yeah, I've turned it up a little bit. Hopefully that's...
Yeah, that's no... how does that sound, Jonah?
Robin, you should be able to tell.
I mean, it looks fine to me, but it looked fine before we started streaming.
Okay.
So now I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't trust my eyes anymore. Looking at the levels, they look fine to me. And you sound fine.
Right.
You sound good. And you know what? It's always good to have Alex's voice loud and clear in your ear, especially at this time of night. It's how we all go to sleep. And all of us. I mean, some of us. But thank you to everyone who does listen to us. And huge thank you to Matt Quick, who's just given us a super thanks. Amazing. Thank you so much, Matt. He says, thank you for the many, many hours of fantastic podcast and entertainment. Keep up the brilliant work, guys.
Oh, thanks,
amazing.
Matt.
Oh, thanks so much, Matt.
That's incredible.
A lot.
Really, wow. And yeah, whilst we're thanking people, I'd love to say a big thank you to all of our YouTube members and Patreon supporters who are absolutely instrumental in keeping this channel going and bring us much, much joy and satisfaction because they're a great community. And in particular, I would like to thank Rashad Najar, Caleb Wilkerson, Kurt Jones, John Baker, Janie, Henny Ruffle, The Super Show Podcast, great podcast, go check them out, Nicholas Dill, Emmett Tapia, Hey Hey Swanboat, Ahmad, Peaswad, Josh Chomatek, Filthy Casual, Simon Workman, and of course, Captain Wonky. So thank you to everybody.
You so much.
Oh, was that it? Okay. Sorry, I thought that was going to be it's like, was he going to say, is that a long thanks? No.
Well, I interrupted you, so I felt bad. So I stopped. I backed off.
I'm sorry. No, don't feel bad. I talk across both of you all the time. I'm really bad for it. My excuse is that I'm rude. There's no excuse really. But yeah, moving on. Yeah, thanks. Where are we now? Comments. Let's move on to comments. Having thanked people, let's chat to people. Let's respond to people. So, fellas, do you have any comments from recent podcast episodes, particularly the two that I wasn't here for? I listened to them, by the way. I really enjoyed those episodes. Thanks for doing that. It was nice to hear something that I hadn't prepared for myself. So it's like, get to discover the podcast like a newbie. So yeah, any comments that you'd like to respond to for the last couple of weeks?
Well, I actually wanted to dive into the live comment section, and the comment from Jay Sommer, who's put, "This is my first live stream I've made it to, and I learned this week that you guys aren't the men from Britain's Top Gear like I imagined when I listened to you on Spotify." So, Jace, I mean, I guess that's, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, who's who? I mean, Robin, you're James May, clearly.
Apparently, yeah.
Clearly, I mean, me and Alex, we just don't want to be Clarkson, basically.
You're fighting to not be Jeremy Clarkson.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Who's worse though? Is it Clarkson or is it Richard the Hamster Hammond?
Sure,
you've sat on your stool there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, have you? Yeah, but have you seen? I don't know because. Bully.
What?
But then Richard Hammond's like the one, the weedy little kid who stands behind the bully. Recording it on his camera phone.
I see.
He's
right.
just as bad, if not worse.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You know the Return of the Jedi, and there's Jabba the Hutt, and there's like the little. is Richard Hammond that little creature, whatever that thing is?
Oh, he's got a name. Sly.
Yeah, exactly.
Sly something. I can't remember his name. Man, I used to know this stuff. It's amazing how. That's one of those, as an aside, Star Wars characters' names. Growing up, original trilogy of Star Wars, I used to know characters like that, their names. And I reflect on it now, and I'm just like, how on earth did I know their names? They're not mentioned in the film. They have no lines of dialogue. Nobody talks to them. And I never read any Star Wars books or any media that I knew of, and somehow I knew these names. I must have just talked to enough other people who knew this stuff. Yeah. It's amazing.
Were they listed in the end credits? Did you just get it from the end credits?
Maybe, yeah. And by process of elimination was like, well, it wasn't that character. So this random collection of letters that spell an alien name must have been this character. Yeah.
Did you ever have top trump cards? Because I found that top trumps were definitely a way of learning about the lesser known characters in TV shows and movies.
I didn't have Star Wars top trumps, but you know what I did have? Star Wars Tazos. Do you remember Tazos?
Tazos, yeah, I remember the collection.
And in fact, Tazos spoiled something from the prequels for me because I was young enough to, I was young. I was a child when the prequels were coming out, and Senator Palpatine. Spoilers, by the way, for anyone. It's not spoilers. Senator.
Okay, it's not good.
In the prequels, it's Senator Palpatine who obviously becomes the Emperor. In the sequels. And before episode 1 came out, there were Star Wars Tazos, and I was collecting them, obviously, from cereal and crisps or whatever it was. And Walkers, thank you, yeah. Walkers crisps. And the one with Emperor Palpatine on, to me, he was just the Emperor. And then on the back of it said Emperor Palpatine. And I was like, that's the same name as the Senator guy in the new movie. That's weird.
Oh, yeah, spoilers. I remember taking those into school. I mean, we're really off on a tangent now, but I remember taking those into school, and everyone took them into school, and everyone, these are the ones I've got, etc., etc. And a kid, still remember this bastard in the year above, called Jonathan. I won't mention his last name in case anyone has a vendetta in the comment section and goes after him. Don't do it, okay? It wasn't that bad.
Shouldn't mention his name. Jonathan.
Yeah. But Jonathan, wherever you are, I still remember. He switched out my Tazos, my pure, clean, beautiful Tazos, and traded them for a whole load of swaps that were scratched up and shit. I'm swearing loads now. Apologies, C.S. Trumson. I'm angry. I'm angry at Jonathan still after all these years. And he swapped them, and he was like, "Oh yeah, and these are your ones." And being like the shy little kid I was in like year 1 or whatever it was, 5 years old, I was like, "Oh yeah, thank you." Sex and all my good ones have been switched, and from that day onwards,
That's crap.
I never took Tazos into school ever again.
No. Yeah, well,
So lesson learned.
Do you know what? Maybe it's too late in the conversation to be asking this question, but what the
Taz-
hell are Tazos?
Well, do you remember Pogs, Alex? They're like Pogs, but they've got...
It's not Pogs either.
Yeah.
Are they like little tiny discs?
Discs.
Yeah,
things?
they're
that's
little
it.
discs, and they've got notches in the edges. And I think you're meant to
Right.
kind of slot them into each other, I think. Was
Yeah,
that the idea?
I don't know if you had the album, right, with the Velcro album that they had that came with it.
Not for Star Wars, but for Looney
Okay.
Tunes, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. And so there's this album, you basically clip them into place in this album and collect them all, like you would a sticker
Right.
book,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I
like,
get it.
or like trading
Yeah.
cards, right?
They were quite addictive. Well, I found them addictive anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you wanted to collect them all, for sure.
By the way, speaking of Star Wars Tazos and Star Wars, a couple of comments from Spiffing and Jonah Isaac. Salacious Crumb was the name of that character. The little that guy. It's
It's a
Salacious Crumb.
fantastic name.
It is a great name.
George Lucas.
And Matt Quick has, I guess, mentioned his favourite person, Ponda Baba. The guy gets his arm cut off in the cantina by Obi-Wan in episode 4. Iconic. Bum face.
yeah.
The one with bum
Yeah.
for a mouth. Yeah. There's
Again, well, congratulations, George Lucas, on a very successful
Yeah.
franchise.
well,
Great films.
anyway, Alex, do you have a comment that you'd like to respond to?
Yeah, so I had a comment that someone, Nightmare Lover, commented on quite an old podcast, actually. And it was one where we were just recording it, and I decided to slot in a video of my hamster Cheddar. So for a bit of the podcast, it just went to hamster cam, and neither of you noticed.
We didn't.
And Nightmare Lover says, I love how Alex switched to hamster cam and Robin and Martin don't notice. We need more hamster cam. And
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, I'm here to say, unfortunately, that is no longer possible because Cheddar is sadly no longer with us.
Yeah,
He is
I'm
with
sorry.
the angels now. But that's quite a while ago that happened, actually. So,
Good.
but he lived a long, happy hamster life.
How long's long for? I've had a hamster, but I can't remember. How long's long for a hamster? Like 2 or 3 years? Is that right?
Yeah, and he made it to 2.5 years.
play.
That's pretty
Fair
good.
play.
That's, yeah,
Hold on,
Pretty
Cheds.
good.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like a wizened
R.I.P. and peace.
hamster by the end.
Yeah,
Yeah. I hope he's having fun in a big wheel in the sky.
exactly.
Is that what hamsters do? They run on wheels?
Yeah.
At
yeah,
night,
they
mainly,
love it.
when you're trying to
Bloody
sleep.
love it.
Oh, they do it when you're sleeping. Great. A similarly, a slightly older video, actually, that I'd like to respond to a comment on from, a year ago, I think, over a year ago, a little video essay on the YouTube channel about Lisa Nowak, the unbelievable story of the first NASA astronaut to be arrested, convicted of a crime. And Brig Commander commented saying, "This story should be made into a short film because it is an incredible story." I just wanted to let Brig Commander know, if you're listening, it has been made into a film, or at least it has inspired a film from a few years ago called Lucy in the Sky, with Natalie Portman playing a character who's very closely based on Lisa Nowak. And the events of that film are quite similar. No diapers, though. It does not portray Natalie Portman in a diaper for some reason. Don't know why. It's just,
Probably would have done better. I've never heard of it.
no, I mean, I watched it and I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. It's a bit pretentious. Not much happens. And
Okay.
it's very, arty-farty. But, whatever.
Fair enough.
So
That was a fantastic video, though, Robin, that you did.
Oh,
That was a really
thank
great
you.
and interesting watch. Everyone should go over and check it out.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex.
And
Yeah,
the
I'm sorry,
recent,
I wasn't fishing for...
the recent
compliment.
one that you did as well, NASA one you did on the America's plan to nuke the moon, was it? Or
Yeah, colonize the moon and put nuclear weapons on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Project
was,
Horizon. Yeah.
that was a great video and really kind of reminded me of the channel that shall not be named. So if people in the comments haven't seen it, then it's definitely worth a watch.
I just chucked over a link in case anyone wants to
amazing.
bookmark it
In the live chat. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Martin. And thank you, Alex. Yeah. Hopefully have time. Well, we always want to make more videos like that, more video essays exploring a topic in depth, but it's just finding the time and having the Patreon supporters really does make a huge difference in allowing us to do stuff like our videos on location, which did a couple last year, and we've got another one coming up in the near future. And
I promise there is something cracking coming up.
Whoa.
I'm sorry it's taking me so long.
No, that wasn't meant to be that. Anyway, also, Alex. Well, there's other kind of videos that we'd like to make and that we're always working on in the background and trying to get them to happen. It's just challenging to find the time with these busy work lives that we have, and we're getting old and frail, and it's getting harder to keep up with the technologies. And sometimes I look at my screen and there's all these buttons. I'm like, what does that do? I had a moment like that. I came back from a few weeks away the other day and turned on my computer to dive straight back into work because stupidly I did not allow a day off for recovering from jet lag. I just went straight back into it, and then literally opened my software and was just like, I don't know where to begin. What do I do again? How does this work? Even my email was overwhelming. And I didn't have that many emails to catch up on, but I was just like, whoa, there's just information overload.
Yeah.
You know what it's like. Anyway, that aside, shall we dive into, finally, the main topic of the episode?
Let's
do it. Mysterious Deathbed Confessions. That's what we'll be discussing today.
That is what we'll be discussing.
We will. Now, we've all gone away. We've found a confession or two, I don't know how many you've got actually, that we wanted to bring to the table. So I thought I would invite either of you to start. Tell us the backstory, tell us the confession, and tell us what's so intriguing about it. So let's start alphabetically and go with Alex.
Yes. Well, there is basically any opportunity to bring up Roswell, and I'm going to. And the one that intrigues me, because I'd like there's ones from murderers and stuff as kind of that is interesting, but it's always like is
all right. Don't diminish what I'm about to say later. All right.
I'm just scared.
You're trying to turn people off after Roswell.
People on yours.
You might well do, but want it to be their decision.
I guess what I mean is murders happen. Murders happen. But how often does an alien crash in a desert? Alien UFO crash in a desert?
Oh.
Not that often, apparently.
Yeah, I know. Only a maximum 7 times a year.
But for those of you who don't know, the Roswell incident happened on July 2nd, 1947. And this event made millions question whether aliens had in fact visited Earth and crashed in the desert in the United States. Theories began spreading of cover-ups and secret facts being hidden from the public by the government during this time. Military authorities shared a press release about the alleged crash, which read, "The many rumors regarding the flying disc became a reality yesterday when the intelligence officer of the 509th Bomb Group of the 8th Air Force Roswell Army Airfield was fortunate enough to gain possession of a disc."
Ooh, did you say bum group?
Bomb Group.
You said it again.
BOMB.
Oh,
Bomb Group.
Bomb Group. I see. Robert's lost it. Did you?
Oh my gosh. Martin. For goodness
What a way to derail this thing. Thing is,
you could have just left it alone.
Just quietly kept it to yourself. Thing is, wasn't there? The reason it's making me laugh is because wasn't there that ridiculous plan by the US government to make their enemy soldiers gay by introducing chemicals? It was Canadian. That was it. There was this Canadian plot in the 60s and 70s, I think, to make enemy soldiers gay in the battlefield. And the theory was that they'd be gay for their fellow soldiers and be less willing to fight, because obviously gay men don't fight. Very homophobic plan, obviously, and scientifically impossible. But obviously, you say bum group, and I'm just like, is that the code name?
Sorry, Alex.
Oh, I mean, wow. No, this was the official press release given after the initial crash investigation. And, the world attention was fixed on Roswell for, this small town in New Mexico, less than 24 hours after this event occurred. Then the military changed its story, and theories of extraterrestrial visitations disappeared. They started to claim that a balloon was found in Roswell, which had been flying as part of a secret project, listening for evidence of Soviet nuclear tests. However, in 2007, an astonishing twist to the story came to light and reignited claims that aliens did visit Earth in 1947. So this came from Lieutenant Walter Holt, who worked at the military base near the town in 1947 as a public relations officer. He was the man behind this original press release, which at first announced that a flying disc had been found on the orders of the base commander, Colonel William Blanchard. And he died in 2005, not William Blanchard, Holt. Holt died in 2005, and on his deathbed left a sworn affidavit only to be opened after he passed away.
A bit like the Queen.
Exactly. Although he didn't time it for like 80 years later.
True. Yeah.
He timed it for a couple of years later. And in 2007, his message was released and has cast doubt on the US government's official explanation of the Roswell incident. The text claims that the government's weather balloon explanation was a cover story and that the actual object found by the military was stored in the base's hangar. It goes on to describe what Holt had said, and he describes not just an alien aircraft, but also claims to have seen alien bodies too. And when he arrived at the military base, he was apparently told that a UFO had crashed and a small body recovered. I think this is interesting, though, because he never, in the original, his original claims when he was interviewed about this, as he was the PR, person for this at the time, he said he hadn't witnessed anything. And he kind of changed his story over the years. Mm-hmm. And I think he actually helped set up a UFO investigation research center, which kind of makes me a little bit skeptical if he was super interested in that kind of thing. But then you would be if you knew.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I don't know.
So do you think it was some joke on his part, or do you think that it was authentic and he had just done his duty when he was saying that there was nothing to see here, and then recanted as he died, or when he died?
Well, it's interesting because, you don't have he doesn't provide any physical evidence. There's no pictures or anything that goes along with this letter. It's just his sworn testimony. But I mean, he was the guy at the time. He was the PR person putting out the official story. And he seems like quite a reliable guy as well. Do you think there could be the case that he wanted something for people to remember him by, no matter how ludicrous? So he was that could also be.
I think with quite a lot of deathbed confessions, that's potentially an option, right? It's always, if I say something outrageous or reveal some information, my legacy will live on and people will know me despite me not being here, regardless of whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
Possibly. But yeah.
I mean, that's always something to consider. That's one of those things where it's like, there's no way to know, is it? But I mean, there were some corroborating witnesses as well, including other military personnel who have come forward to support aspects of his account. And he's generally seen as to have a lot of integrity. he had an impeccable reputation apparently, and was regarded as a trustworthy individual. Yeah, so like people have come forward and said that there's no real reason for him to fabricate such a confession, especially given the backlash that this could cause. Because you say, like, I mean, it's something that people remember him by, but if it then came out that no, it's totally absolutely fabricated, then he will be remembered, but not for a good reason.
True. Yeah.
So I don't know. There's no. This isn't one that you can disprove, really.
No.
Yeah.
No, not easy to. Not easy to. That's really interesting. So in terms of viability, what do you think about this one? Do you think that there could be elements of truth to it in this case? I mean, it might be as simple as saying, do you believe that there are aliens in Roswell? Which is kind of a wider question. Do you think there could be anything to this?
I don't know. No, I don't know. It's difficult because, again, there are people that have claimed things, not on their deathbed. I don't know why, but being on your deathbed makes it more convincing, when actually it is just the exact same as like someone claiming something. And normally, if one person claims something, but there's no other physical evidence, you'd say that's not trustworthy. That's not really like, do you know what I mean? Like there's nothing else supporting that story.
Yeah, I guess
when there's other evidence of like the weather balloon theory.
So this is the idea that there's nothing to gain, isn't it? It's like if you're on your deathbed, there's nothing to lose from saying it. There's nothing to gain. So it's like, why would you say it? That's the idea about all of these. It's why would you say it if it doesn't affect you in any way, doesn't materially affect you, apart from potentially your legacy. Yeah.
But there is more information about what actually was said in the letter if you'd like to hear it.
Oh yeah,
great.
Please. Yeah.
So this affidavit shared after his death describes a meeting at the base with Colonel William Blanchard and General Roger Ramey. Haut claims that at the gathering, pieces of the wreckage were passed around, but nobody was able to identify the material it was made from. He stated the press release was put out because Roswell residents were aware of the crash site, but in fact there was a second site where more debris was found. He claimed the press release was intended to distract the public's interest from the second and more important location. And he mentioned a cleanup which happened over several months and involved military personnel searching both crash sites for any other pieces of debris left. And during this search, any signs of unusual activity were erased to cover up what had really happened. He recalled how he was taken into one of the hangars at Roswell called Building 84, where he saw the craft. He described it as a metallic egg-shaped object around 12 to 15 feet in length and around 6 feet wide. His account described it as a windowless and without wings, a tail, landing gear, or any other features. 2 bodies were on the floor and partially covered, and were around 4 feet tall with large heads. Haut concluded his note by saying, "I am convinced that what I personally observed was some kind of craft and its crew from outer space."
Interesting.
Boom. There it is.
That's pretty.
The smoking gun. No, it's not really.
Well, I mean, he's gone into detail there, hasn't he? That's quite to go from there's nothing here to here's a detailed description of everything that's here. That's quite the turnaround.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, who knows? I guess is what we have to say. What do you both think?
It's easy it's tempting to be skeptical, I think.
It's the easy path, isn't it?
Yeah.
But again, what is there to gain from this, apart from the fact that some people like hoaxes even in their death, right? Leaving the legacy of a hoax that's carried, well, not necessarily a hoax, but something to question. It's a bit, for some people it would seem as a bit of fun, and because he has the credentials and the authoritative voice for it to not seem like it's just completely made up, that can make it even more fun. If he's a bit, I've worked there, why not leave something fun for people to speculate about when I'm gone?
Yeah.
So that's definitely in the kind of made up column, but you never know. Do we know if he was completely mentally sound by the end of his life?
I'm not aware, but I think this was a letter signed several years before
So
his
before,
death.
yeah, of course.
So it was in 2002 that he wrote
Oh.
this, and it was to be released after his death in 2005.
Mhm.
So I mean, presumably he had thought about this and put his thoughts into words. This wasn't just like literally on his deathbed he was saying
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
This had been, pre-written, pre-established.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm inclined to. Actually, now that you've elaborated upon it, I think Martin's right. There is absolutely hard to find a reason to do it except as a cruel practical joke on everyone who believes in UFOs or wants to believe, and that seems. I mean, particularly cruel. Yeah.
I mean, I guess the only thing that's kind of a negative, but because it's a deathbed confession, I don't know, is that he kind of changed his story throughout his life a little bit, like initially. But then that kind of almost makes more sense because it was his job to tell the unofficial to like tell the made up story for a while. So it would make sense that his story would change over time.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, it was his job to tell the fake story of the weather balloon.
Yeah.
And then gradually over time, he went from saying, no, I didn't see anything, to then claiming to see bodies and, the actual crash site and everything. But that would kind of make sense.
Yeah. In a roundabout way.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds insoluble.
Yes.
Martin, what deathbed confession did you bring?
Well, mine is related to one of the most notorious murder cases in the 20th century, and that's the Black Dahlia murder, the murder of Elizabeth Short in 1947, which it was a pretty horrific murder that gained worldwide attention, really, and shocked everyone who heard about it. So in January 1947, the body of Elizabeth Short, who was 22 years old, was discovered in Los Angeles in a place called Lermet Park, and it was pretty gruesome. In fact, I think that the images are quite widely available if you want to see them. But it's pretty horrible. So be warned. With her body being bisected at the waist and her mouth cut from ear to ear. So really, really horrible murder of this young woman. And the case has officially never been solved. But I guess that's where this deathbed confession comes into play. So the police at the time interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people, and they focused on around about 20 to 30 suspects in the case. So as like actual potential suspects as opposed to speculative. Of course, they got thousands and thousands of leads about this case because it was such a notorious one that gained so much media attention. But one of the people that they interviewed at the time and was on this list of 20 to 30 suspects was a man called Dr. George Hodel, Hodel. And what was notable about Hodel was the fact that he was a physician. And one of the things when they saw the cuts across the body and the way in which he'd bisected poor Elizabeth Short, similarly to the Jack the Ripper case, right, was that this must have been done by a doctor because of X, Y, and Z, right? They're someone who knows what they're doing. And often there's speculation about this, as soon as someone gets cut open in anything resembling a neat manner, it's suggested that it's someone who has medical experience. So anyway, so he was a suspect in this case. And there's a fair amount of mounting evidence. But the interesting thing about this case in particular is the fact that the supposed deathbed confession, and in fact, a lot of the evidence and research brought against Hodel was conducted by his son. So his son, a guy called Stephen Hodel, or Steve Hodel, wrote a book. And he wrote this book in 2003. It's called Black Dahlia Avenger, The True Story. And he put together basically 15 years worth of research, cataloguing evidence against his own dad, including this supposed deathbed confession.
Wow.
And I think that's ultimately what makes this really, really interesting. The fact that the police independently were looking into his dad as a suspect, and then also, of course, Steve focused on this, and he was a policeman. Steve was in Los Angeles in the police detective department. So he was looking into murders himself, and then when he retired, he became almost obsessed with the case. And so there's definitely this intrigue over whether Steve had a vendetta against his dad. We know that his dad left the family when he was younger, so perhaps that could play into it. But there's this kind of, was he someone who's actually seriously trying to look into this and discover whether his dad did it and genuinely believes that, or was he just obsessed with the murder case and wanted to have this connection? And so his fascination with police detective work spilled over into one of the most notorious cases in history.
That's so interesting. That's such an interesting case. And I mean, that's just, if it hasn't been made into a film, I mean, I'm sure Black Dahlia has, but like that.
Yeah, there's
this kind of book and the investigation.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so there's a bit of evidence to show that that he wasn't a very nice person, Holdall. In 1949, for instance, so this is 2 years after the Black Dahlia murder, his daughter, Tamar Holder, accused him of sexual abuse, which is pretty horrible. He was actually acquitted, but there were lots of people within the family that backed up Tamar's position. So that's kind of, it doesn't suggest that he's necessarily a murderer, but it does suggest that if that's true, he's completely messed up in the head, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
was he living in the similar area to where like the Black Dahlia was found?
Yes, yeah, exactly. He was, and later on in 1950, so he was quite a good physician and earned a fair bit of money, so was living in Hollywood at the time, and the police bugged his house, the LAPD, in 1950, and the tapes recorded him saying, I don't know why I put this quote in. I'm thinking it in like a Cockney voice. So should I just read it in a Cockney voice and then you can translate
go on. Yeah.
Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they can't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead. They thought there was something fishy. Anyway, now they may have figured it out. Killed her. Maybe I did kill my secretary. So
What?
think of that. Think of that in an American accent.
Were you going for like a Cray Twins type thing?
Oh yeah,
like a gangster.
Yeah. Gangster East End. Yeah, that was the plan anyway. So that was recorded. He never actually confesses to doing it, and he could just be bigging himself up as a bad man. But
yeah, it's pretty.
I did imagine in that.
Yeah.
I imagined in that he was talking to himself as well, just to a mirror.
Yeah.
Supposing I did do this.
yeah, exactly. So his son spent his life cataloging this supposed evidence of the crimes, and actually believes he committed some other murders as well. So has pinned a fair amount on his father, and also claims that on his deathbed, he actually died in San Francisco in 1990. That he says that his father did admit to murdering Black Dahlia, but like a lot of these, a deathbed confession is very hard to verify, especially when it comes from a single source and someone that seems like they have a vested interest in his father being the murderer of Black Dahlia. So it's definitely an interesting one. Although with the other murders, so his son Steve Holdall believes he committed other murders, but he had moved to the Philippines where he started a new family after the killing in 1947. a few years later, and lived there throughout the 1950s through to the late 80s. And so, if he was to commit these other murders on the US soil, he would have had to come back and forwards committing these murders, which to me seems like, why would you bother going back to the US mainland to commit murders and then going back to the Philippines for your family? Why don't you just commit murders out in the Philippines, right? But anyway, maybe he did. So Steve, a lot of this is around how much you believe his son, Steve Holdall, and whether you believe that actually he's looking to discredit his father, or he's looking to make money out of book deals and the publicity and is going after that, or whether he's actually right and his father did kill Elizabeth Short and potentially had other victims too.
There's so many like different interesting elements to this, because it's like when you first hear it, you're like, well, this guy probably just has some daddy issues, and he's furious that his dad left him, and he's trying to pin this murder on him. But he is also a police detective. So he is kind of qualified if he's would have more of an inside knowledge of his dad than most other people.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and then you flip back again and go, but the book made it onto the New York Times bestseller list. So it's like there's a financial interest in pinning this on him, especially after his death in 1999. He's dead. Released the book in 2003. What's there to lose? I can make a tidy sum. So it's about how much you trust his son ultimately.
It's tempting to think that with the allegations of sexual assault leveled against him, then his son has a motive to associate his dad with something villainous.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but it's compelling, and I would hope that particularly, like you say, a policeman, a trained investigator, to turn against your own family like that, to publicly say, my father was this infamous murderer, the evidence would have to be pretty compelling. I mean,
it's also compelling that he was a suspect anyway, independently of this investigation by his son.
Yes. That's the key link, isn't it? It's and that wasn't made available until many years after the case was been a cold case for 20-30 years. So
Also, the bug in his house that where he basically confessed to it.
That's just crazy. That is.
There's also that, but then you don't know if someone it could be that the person speaking to him, which isn't actually revealed in that quote. It might be in the book, but I haven't got that far. It might be that he was being worked up with someone saying, well, did you get her? Did you kill her? And she goes, well, what if I did? What if I did? And what if I killed the housemaid too?
Yeah.
What
you could be,
it's like the sarcastically. Exactly. So it's difficult. It's not like he straight out says it, but huge red flag there, right? More than a red flag. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's compelling. But we'll never know. That's the problem.
Well, we might do. Forensic technologies are coming along. We're able to
really.
Yeah, but like the what was it?
It was the Golden State.
Golden State. That was it. Yeah,
was found.
Yeah.
But
they had DNA there, didn't they? That they could compare it was
profiling, wasn't? Didn't they? They reverse engineered it, didn't they? By finding relatives of. Is it you have to find relatives of the
I think so. Yeah, I think it was the victim's relatives.
Yeah, victim's relatives, and you get the profile there, and then I don't know exactly how it works. But yeah, it's like a fairly new technology that allows them to find people just by using information that's available on DNA databases. So when people send in their DNA kits,
23andMe, wasn't it? I think,
Yeah, that's right. 23andMe, yeah. So maybe fingers crossed that could one day be a thing.
Maybe, I don't know. I think Black Dahlia is one of those cases.
A long time ago.
We'll never know. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, thanks for that. That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you, Martin. Robin, I'm interested. What's your deathbed confession? As in, what are you going to confess to?
When I die. Yeah.
And why is it the Black Dahlia?
Can I get back to you on that, Alex? Well, weirdly,
You killed Tupac Shakur, didn't you? Just admit it.
I did. It was me. I was in the car. Oh man. No, they weirdly, this is pure coincidence, but I've noticed a bizarre pattern. Alex, you went for someone called Holt. Martin went for someone called Hodel, and I've gone for E. Howard Hunt.
Ooh.
So apparently, deathbed confessions are most mysteriously made by people whose surnames begin with H. Just complete coincidence there.
And together they make Triple H.
The world's best super spy. Doesn't confess to anything until after they die. No, this is E. Howard Hunt, who was a member of the CIA and was involved in a couple of, reestablishments of regimes in South America, as the US might put it, in the 1950s, and was involved in the Bay of Pigs fiasco in 1961, and later, most infamously, became involved as got convicted as one of the burglars in the Watergate Hotel in 1972. A key,
quite the CV.
yeah, quite the CV, isn't it?
The same bloke.
Same guy.
What?
Yep. Worked for the CIA, and on his and during his lifetime, in fact, he was accused of being one of the 3 tramps who were arrested and then released quickly by police on the day that President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas in 1963. So, guess what? When he died, apparently, his sons, Howard St. John Hunt and David Hunt, said that as he was dying, he recorded several claims about his involvement with others in a conspiracy to assassinate JFK.
Oh dear.
Apparently, he left notes and audio recordings, and other family members have acknowledged these audio recordings exist, and they claim that he was he's admitted to being in a conspiracy with Lyndon Johnson, David Atlee Phillips, Frank Sturgis, David Morales, and a whole bunch of other major espionage and government figures. And that they claim that he admitted to not revealing a lot of this stuff in his published memoirs for obvious reasons. Mostly, apparently, he was concerned with perjury charges. Because he had, in the several trials he'd been involved with and committee testimony he'd given as a member of the CIA to committees, the Senate committees investigating CIA assassination schemes and Watergate, he'd denied a lot of stuff that apparently in these notes and recordings he admitted to. So he said, I'm confessing this now because I lied about it to under oath to protect people when I was alive. And now I'm admitting it to it as I die, having already been convicted of Watergate. So I don't really care. Oh. However, his wife and a couple of his other children say that these 2 sons, Howard and David, were either misinterpreting willfully the notes and recordings that he left behind, or coached him as he was dying and was, not entirely with it because of the drugs and the illness.
Yeah.
So the problem is they only the Los Angeles Times has examined some of the notes and the audio recordings that the sons claim to have, and said that they could be telling the truth, or his other family members could be right that they're misinterpreting what he said.
Yeah, but the LA Times are in on it. The
LA Times is in on it, yeah.
Oh, that is interesting. And I was wondering if like a CIA one would come up.
Yeah, it was bound to eventually, wasn't it?
keep the secrets till they die.
Yeah, with all of these, I think it is worth bearing in mind what kind of state people are in when they're about to die. How old was he?
Oh, good question.
He died. And do we know how he died? Just thinking about kind of, the mental state, especially if you've been in a secret, something like the Secret Service, or where you've had so much time having to keep secrets, and the stress and the pressure of espionage.
Yeah.
And then when that's kind of released, you can just feel like you can say whatever you like. I don't know.
I feel like if you had a deathbed confession, like there was something that that you needed to say after you died. I feel like you would do it like how Hulk did it in my example. You would write it down years before you go, and then say this can only be opened after my death.
Yes,
you don't do it like as in your final days or weeks. Try and jot it down, I guess.
Well, unless it's like, oh, this has to be. I didn't want to say this. I wasn't planning on saying this, but actually I do need to. That kind of last minute change of heart, right?
Yeah.
That's potentially an option.
Yeah, he was 88 years old when he died, and it was pneumonia, which I don't think the symptoms of pneumonia traditionally include hallucinations or weak-mindedness. They involve other horrible symptoms that might lead to malnutrition, which then might induce loss of lucidity, which might allow someone to influence what you're saying.
You could be on certain medication as well.
Painkillers could do it, I suppose. Yeah.
Intriguing.
So with the actual claims of so it was a CIA conspiracy to kill JFK, apparently. Okay, fine, let's go with that. So what's he actually claiming they did? Who was Lee Harvey Oswald in that? Because he wasn't one of the co-conspirators that he listed anyway, it sounds like. It was Jack Ruby involved in killing Lee Harvey Oswald?
Jack Ruby isn't mentioned as far as I'm aware, but yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy, is basically what they're saying.
That's a lot of people involved in the conspiracy.
But if you're going to kill the president, surely it's going to be a lot of people.
I don't know, though. There might be, there could be hush, hush. No, I'm going to say nudge, nudge, wink, wink. No, say no more. But it could be that there's knowledge, but the active conspirators, including the vice president at the time.
Yeah.
They had a great relationship. I mean, now we're probably just thinking more about the validity of the claims as opposed to anything else. But
test the claims. I mean, that's a good place to start, right? When trying to verify whether a deathbed confession is true or not, you test the claims and then you test the person.
Yeah. It does. I don't know, it just sounds like a huge, huge network of people in on this, and that no one else has made that confession or let anything leak for however many years. Well, what was it now? 60 years. 60 years this year.
Gosh, yes, it is. God, yeah.
When was it? November? Is it November?
Yeah, November 22nd.
Yeah. I have to do something before that. I could imagine like this would have spilt elsewhere. There would have been, actually, he's confessed to it. Backing up the claims that were made. I don't know.
I could imagine this being one that you wouldn't even want this to come out, even on your deathbed. I don't think you'd want to be known as one of the conspirators who assassinated JFK. It's not like posthumously he was discovered to be a horrible, horrible man or anything. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of regarded quite well and quite highly. So I think it would be a bad look to admit, even on your deathbed. There's nothing. There's nothing to gain from it. You just, disgrace your name and your family's name.
Yeah. I mean, also,
so I could see it staying secret.
We're assuming that he might be the exception who proves the rule, that people who are inclined to join a conspiracy to murder the president of the United States might not be the kind of people who feel like they need to make a deathbed confession.
Also true, yeah.
And he's the one guy, the exception to the rule, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm inclined to think you're right, Martin. There were just so many people involved in his confession that you'd think surely there'll be more evidence to back this up from one of them as well. Maybe some handwritten notes from LBJ saying, "I did it."
Thank goodness that idiot's gone. Now I can be president.
Yeah, just they're looking through his diary for 1963, and you get to the page for November 22nd. It's like, why is this page covered in stars and love hearts and exclamation marks? There's no words written on it. Just a big smiley face. Like, no reason.
Yeah, it's just that. What do you say? November
22nd. Yeah.
20. Dear Diary, November 22nd. Felt bad about John. Jackie's coat's going to need dry cleaning. should probably send her a message.
Oh my god. But this rationale that there's so many people involved in it, how could it, like, other people not have admitted something by now? I guess that's the same rationale for why, like, the moon landing is definitely true, right? Because, like, at this point, we'd be getting so many NASA employees coming forward on their deathbed saying, it's all fake.
I'm sure you can find some.
We haven't been. I'm sure there's probably one, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, was it Edgar Mitchell? No, he was aliens. Sorry, Edgar Mitchell was an Apollo 14 astronaut who said that aliens were encountered on the Apollo missions. He didn't say that they were faked. Sorry, I got confused for a moment there. Oh, it's been a while.
But you did say that they, like, met aliens, didn't they, on the moon or
they had an encounter with some UFO craft around the moon. Yeah,
also
pretty cool,
pretty insane,
pretty crazy. Well, I mean, I'm going to ask.
That's an interesting one.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll ask our audience. Those of you, if you're listening to us on a podcast platform of your choice, or watching us on YouTube later, please let us know in the comments or on a review, or on Twitter at JInterestingYT. Which of these deathbed confessions do you think is the most plausible, or do you not believe any of them, or do you believe all of them? Please let us know. Let us know in the live chat now as well. And if you guys are happy, we could move on to the quiz.
Oh, it's been a while. I have to remind us how to do this.
Very happy, Robin.
Make sure you got your buzzers ready. It's quiz time. It's been a while. It's been a long old time since we had a quiz, and hopefully my quiz skills are not too rusty, and we can have some good, challenging but not too difficult questions for you.
That's what I like.
Okay.
That's where I live on, podcast quizzes.
Yeah.
Challenging but not too difficult. That's ideal.
Question number 1. What is your name? Yeah, no. We're going to pitch a little higher than that.
So currently, if the leaderboard is correct, Robin, I believe you are in the lead with 6 points. Martin's on 5, and don't worry about me. That's fine. It doesn't matter.
You've got 3 points. That's respectable. Yes, no, that's very respectable. 6-5-3 is pretty tight, actually. Not the tightest race we've had for a long while. I feel like last season, Alex, you won last season, didn't you? And you raced ahead. Oh no, Martin. No, wait a minute.
I think Martin won
I
last
won
season.
every
I won
season.
the season before.
No, that was right. Martin won the second one, Alex won the third, and Martin won the fourth, winning back the trophy that he never actually
the trophy speaks for itself.
surrendered.
I've had the trophy the whole time, so
Oh yeah.
in effect, I've won
That's how it works, yeah.
every season.
Yeah, of
We
course.
need to see some proof of life. We haven't seen it in years.
It's been a long time.
It's a good point. I hope I haven't lost it again.
Oh man.
I'll find out. I think it's maybe the shed.
Why is it in the shed, Martin? Why is it in the shed?
It's a
Why
trophy.
would it be in
Why
the
is it
shed?
in the shed? Of all
Shed.
places.
It's where trophies go. It's where all the proper sports people keep the trophies.
In the shed.
I once recorded at a recording studio. I don't want to dox it or give away this information really, but anyway, it was up north in a northern town where a northern band that sold 100. How many copies do you have to sell to get a gold or platinum record?
One's a million.
A million, I think.
Maybe.
Anyway, this recording studio, I was there with a band at the time, and it was a fine studio, but it wasn't anything particularly special. And I went into this like crappy bathroom, right? It's just a pretty run down bathroom, right? It's just the bathroom on site. And on the wall in this crappy rundown bathroom was this gold or platinum, I can't remember which, of the Nevian records that they sold in this this random bathroom.
Wow.
It was the Arctic Monkeys.
No, really?
Oh wow!
For their
in
that album, the famous one.
That one. Yeah.
I bet you look good on the dance floor, and they launched them.
I bet you look good.
Yeah.
You say launch them.
and it was
What,
just
are
in
they
a crummy
still around?
bathroom.
It was in this crappy side bathroom. Yeah. I don't know what that was in relation to. What was I mentioned? What were we saying? Oh yeah, the cup, the mug.
Why
yeah,
your
yeah,
trophy?
it was in the
Where
shed.
was the trophy in the shed? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, trophy in the shed. Yeah.
Classic.
Anyway.
Yeah. Classic destination for all trophies. Well,
I'm just
Would like some
deflecting.
proof of life at some point.
Don't go back to that. I'm deflecting the attention away with a tangential.
well, depending
story.
on how many episodes there are left remaining on this season of the podcast, there may still be time, Alex, for you to catch up and even perhaps overtake. And maybe you shall be the champion yet again of the quiz.
Well, yeah, I'll try my best, Robin. But just to forewarn you, if Martin beats me, then you two are going to be tied, like 6-all.
This is true.
I'll try my best, but
I think I better take out all those James Bond questions then. Oh dear.
all those rugby union questions. Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh no! Don't take them out. No, keep them in. No.
Yeah, keep them in. Well, in order to answer questions, gentlemen, you need buzzers. So, play me your buzzers. Martin.
From Black Dahlia to Very White Delia, it's Delia Smith.
Where are you? Let's be having you!
There we go.
Thank you. That was my favourite segue. That was a nice one, Martin.
That was a
good.
fantastic
That
segue.
was so good. Alex, what's your buzzer?
This is because the comeback starts right now.
Yacht and Boat Show. Good morning, everybody. I'm hanging out with my friend John. Fox 5 Morning News starts. Look over there. And it starts right now.
The thing is, it's just hearing it brings
That's
back the
right now.
visual memory and makes me laugh. If
Yeah.
you haven't seen that meme, go watch it, but not right now. Watch it after the podcast, please. As always, those of you who are joining us live, please feel free to participate. And the first 3 people to put the correct answer into the chat can give themselves a point. And we go on the honor system, and we trust you to keep a faithful track of your score. And so far, we'll see if anyone can beat the mighty minds that are Alex and Martin. Recently, I feel like there have been a few close calls where people in the audience have actually been much smarter than us. But we'll find out today.
I think that happens most episodes, to be honest, Robin.
It's getting
Feels
worse, I feel, though. I feel like as we get older, our brains get less effective at doing quiz. Brain. Question number 1.
I don't think that's how it's supposed to work, but yeah, okay.
Fingers on buzzers.
Okay.
Question number 1. Hopefully a nice and easy one to kind of, ease you into this. Which historic ship famously sank after hitting an
I'm
iceberg
hanging out with my friend John. Fox 5 Morning
in
News starts.
1912?
And it starts.
I mean, it may be because it was louder, but I heard it starts right now, just
Yeah.
before Delia yelling.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So,
Unless this is a trick, I'm going to go for Titanic.
and you'd be right. Well done. Give yourself a point. What was it? Give yourself a point. I'll give you a point. Yeah. 1-0. But it's fine. That was
Very
an easy
good.
one. Don't worry. They get harder from here. Maybe.
Oh,
Probably. And people in the chat, well, everyone got that one. Yeah. But the first 3 to get it right were Old Greg's Creamy Baileys, Spiffing, and AAM. Well done. The rest of you can give yourselves a point as well, because I think you all got it. But those are the first 3 who get mentioned. So, question number 2. Neville Sharp from Australia holds the Guinness World Record for the loudest what? That was Martin.
I'm going to go for fart.
It is not loud as fart.
Oh,
Starts right
I
now.
thought that was a home run right there.
Yes, Alex?
I'm going to go for the other end of the spectrum, loudest burp.
And you'd be correct. It is the
Ah,
loudest burp.
well
Sorry,
done.
Martin. It was
Well
a...
done. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, I felt like 50-50
Either or.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
And in the chat, most people thinking like you, Martin, went for fart first.
Oh, right.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
couple-
Our survey says. Yeah.
But old Greg's Creamy Bailey's got another point. First person to put burp down, and then it was Jonah Isaac. And that was it, just those two. Everyone else said fart.
Very good. Very good.
Spiffing did say scream, maybe. I'd be impressed if a man could generate the loudest scream. That'd be quite something. Okay, question number 3. This is the closest wins.
Okay.
Related to the previous question.
Oh.
Closest wins. How many decibels is the world's loudest burp?
I don't really
Yeah,
understand
no
decibels.
You can go
in
first,
terms
Alex, to give us a ballpark.
Yeah, I don't know any kind of scale in decibels. What's like a plane, for example?
Mm.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just gonna guess.
I don't know, like 100 or something?
John, Fox 5 Morning News starts. Look over there. And it starts right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 151 decibels.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds quite high to me, but again, I don't really know.
Could be.
150, that sounds a little bit high. My initial thought was like 120, but I don't know. It's a guess. I'll go for 120.
So you're going for 120, Alex is going for 151, and Martin is closest.
Ooh.
It is 112.4 decibels,
Cool.
Fair enough.
which, as a
Fair
frame
enough.
of reference, apparently a plane is 105 decibels.
Oh wow.
What?
Yeah. So he burped
Wow.
louder than a plane engine, which is
Oh,
I
wow.
don't believe that for one
ridiculous.
second.
I wonder if there's footage of this out there. I want to see it now. I want it.
I want it
There's a buzzer sorted for future weeks.
Ooh. Well, the last person to comment may have been the person with the closest guess in the live chat. It was Brian Jenkins, who guessed 110, just 2.4
Oh, nice.
decibels away. But other people got fairly
Nicely
close.
done, Brian.
Angelos87 guessed 126. That's pretty close. And old Greg's Creamy Baileys did it again with a 95. But definitely closest person was Brian Jenkins. Well done.
Very good.
Nice.
So,
Nicely done.
moving on to question number 4, and it's 2-1. It's going to be a tight one. I'm afraid this is a James Bond question, so... But
For goodness sake.
You watch James
Is it
Bond?
Casino Royale?
hopefully it's not a
I
disadvantageous
watched the
one.
new ones.
Oh, well, Daniel Craig?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen all of his ones, but
Okay,
I've seen
right.
some of them.
Some of them, okay.
There's new ones with Craig David.
David Craig, yeah.
David Craig.
Craig David. So this is not a closest wins, but I am looking for a numerical answer.
Right.
How many times have the James Bond films won the Oscar for Best
Oh.
Original Song?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Well,
And you want a closest... This isn't closest
This is
wins,
not closest
as you
wins.
say.
This is not closest wins.
of course, we got Madonna's
don't know.
classic "Die Another Day." There's one.
Oh my gosh.
It's not closest wins. Okay. I mean, I'm shooting in the dark here. I'm going to say... I don't think it's going to be that many. I'm going to go for like 5.
Okay.
It's not closest wins, is it?
It's not closest wins. So I would just say you are incorrect.
Okay.
I'm going to say 3.
And you're spot on.
What?
Yes! Can I guess?
Spot
Can
on.
I guess which ones?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Is it
Got an idea.
Adele, Skyfall,
Yep.
Sam Smith's one?
Nah.
Writing's on the wall. It is.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Is
it's
it-
a travesty.
Is
isn't
it the latest
That's
one?
bang average.
It is the
What's her
latest
name?
one.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish, however you say
Hold
it.
on. I was...
Yeah,
So
nailed it.
what was the award?
Best original song
Oscar.
for the Oscar. Yeah.
Did they just not do music Oscars in the past?
No, they did. There's only been 4 nominations in the James Bond series for Best Original Song. The first one was For Your Eyes Only in 1982.
What?
Yeah.
They messed up.
Do you
They
think,
messed up big
do you
time.
think it was a case where where Adele's one won out, and then they were like
Yeah,
suddenly, James Bond ones count.
The
Like,
watershed
like,
moment.
amazing.
whereas
Yeah.
before that never
Yeah.
really crossed their minds. Like, they're
It's not a real song, it's a theme tune. Yeah.
And it's almost lazy now. It's kind of like, James Bond movie's out. Okay, just give them that Oscar then.
Yes.
I mean, I think Billie Eilish's was pretty good, but Sam Smith's did not deserve.
Yeah, no.
And I agree entirely. It's a travesty that you've got of a franchise with so many amazing songs. That's one of the Oscar winners. Yeah, such a shame.
Yeah.
But
what would you? I mean, we've spoken about this at length, haven't we? These Bond themes. But I think the original theme's an absolute classic. And then of course there are the classics, the Shirley Bassey's and Tom Joneses. Yeah.
I just can't
There's
believe
so many other options.
there are so many other. Yeah, like even if you set aside the '60s classics, just a song as great as "Nobody Does It Better" wasn't even nominated.
Nobody does it better.
For bad for the rest. It's with a lady.
So in the chat, did anybody get that correct? Got a few guesses. Oh yeah, a few people did. We got 3 people who guessed 3 correctly, and they would be
nice.
Royal Viking, Brian Jenkins, and Jonah Isaac. Well
Very
done.
good.
Well done. We also got a guess of 5, so everyone's in the right ballpark. So well done. Jonah Isaac also says another way to die is really good. No, it's not.
You don't like the one, Robin. I like it until Alicia Keys comes in. And
I was
starts
about to say I like Jack White's part of it, and then
the musicality and the drum production in that is incredible. The hi hats. I'm not going to get nerdy about it. They sound incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and as a drummer, the context for those listening, Martin drums, so he knows what he's talking about here. I mean
It's
that's
also subjective, isn't it? But I like it.
No, I agree. I think it's a great song right up until Alicia Keys enters it, and then it becomes one of the most worst things I've ever heard in my life. Every single time. Yeah. And then it's at the end, just hitting the same piano key. Dun, 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 dun. Like, what?
What
don't mind
film
that
was
bit.
this one for?
Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
I genuinely think if the song had been better,
did,
that film would be more
Boom,
liked.
boom, ba, boom, ba,
Who
boom,
did
ba,
Casino
boom.
Royale? Because that one was
Chris
good.
Chris
I like
Cornell, rest in
Chris
peace.
Cornell.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gone now.
Yeah.
that. Anyways,
Anyway, yeah, moving on. Sorry.
Sure, people are wanting more questions.
Moving on to question
yes,
number
yes.
5, and it's currently 3-1 to
Oh, dear.
Alex. So, question number 5. Test your science knowledge, gents.
Oh no.
Hg is the chemical symbol for which element?
Gee.
Yeah. Yes, Martin.
Is that, I'm not sure. I don't. My science is so bad. I don't even know if this is an element. Is halogen? Is that an element?
It is not halogen.
No. Is
But
that even
I
an
like
element?
your
I don't
logic.
know if it's an element. None of us know. Oh dear. Hg.
H.G. Wells.
Hey.
Nice. I do not know this.
Oh, people in the chat have got it.
Well done, then. Clever
Morning, everybody.
clogs.
I'm hanging out with my friend John. Fox 5 Morning News starts.
Well, hydrogen is famously just H, so
Yes. Yeah.
it's not that.
That's
Helium is
showing off his
He.
knowledge.
He is helium. Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're doing, Alex.
Obviously, so
Just going through the ones you do know.
Yeah, just trying to
Makes you look less
yeah.
ridiculous when you choose something that's rubbish. Completely off.
Is it something? Is it something that's not going to be like a metal? Is it a metal? Is it? No, it's not. It's not silver, is it?
Ooh, it's not silver, but I know what you're thinking of.
So what is that? Is
That's
that M?
That's
MG?
AG.
AU.
that's AG.
What's AU? What's AU?
AU's gold, isn't it?
AU's gold.
AU's
Yeah.
gold.
But nice thinking. I will give you a clue, though. Alex is right to ask, is it a metal?
Metal.
It is a metal.
What is it again? MG.
HG.
HG. That's MG's magnesium,
And it
right?
starts right now.
Yes, Alex?
Don't know.
Is it tin?
It is not tin.
Tin an element?
I don't know. Copper's an element. So
Copper's an element, yeah. So we've got tin. I don't know, it's not, aluminium is not aluminium, is
that
it?
doesn't.
Aluminium, gold,
Is it
silver.
aluminium? It could be aluminium.
No, that's pretty. I'm pretty sure it's A. Is it just AL or A? AU? What's AU? That's gold again.
That's
Yeah.
gold.
Going around circles here. It's late. HG.
Friend John, Fox 5 Morning News starts. Look over there. And it starts right
Wow,
now.
he's buzzing again, Martin. Are you happy for Alex to have another
Yeah,
guess?
go for
Yeah,
it.
Can I
okay.
buzz any?
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just because it'd be funny because you suggested it, I'm going to say aluminium.
It is not aluminium.
Oh
Okay.
damn! But that would have been funny.
That would have been great. That would have been great. Okay, I'll give
outside of the cool ones, I'm rubbish with the periodic table.
I'll give you another clue.
Okay.
The letters don't appear in the name of this metal.
HG is not really like tungsten, is it? No. Tungsten.
Tungsten has a G in it, and it's HG do not appear in the name.
Oh, neither letter.
Neither letter, yeah.
God.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about this one.
I don't even know what metals.
Okay, I can give you one more clue, but I think it'll be a fingers on buzzers clue.
All right. Okay. Let's just let's do that. Let's get on with
Okay.
it.
This metal shares its name with a planet.
5 Morning News starts. Look over there.
That
And it
was
starts right now.
definitely Delia.
That would be Mercury.
It would be
What?
Mercury, and you would be correct. Well done. Well done, sir. Did you get that, Alex? Would you have got that?
Mercury.
I was going to say
Well,
Venus.
once you said it, I was going to guess it. But like, Mercury did pop into my head, but I was like, oh no, that's ME.
I was
confident that that's ME or something.
that never popped. It's one of those I'd expect to remember because it's so well known, right? It's like I don't remember.
It was news to me when I was writing the quiz. So
I even remember that lead's PB, but I don't remember that mercury's HG. Weird.
yeah, wouldn't it? Well, not HG stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Iron's Fe.
Yes.
Yeah, true. It's quite weird how many of them don't actually. Why do they use these Latin names when we
Why
could be
do
using
that?
English
Yeah.
names? Come on, fellas. Anyway, so people in the chat,
table.
quite a few people in
So
the
who
chat
got
did
that
get
in
it.
the comments?
AAM was the first. Forgive me if I get your name wrong. Era Strangelet got it as well. And old Greg's Creamy Baileys. I think he's got at least 3 points now. Old Greg's.
Absolutely smashing it.
Pretty well. But a few people, other people got it too, but they just weren't the first three. So moving on to question number 6, which is the closest wins. So I thought I'd bring you down from the stress of HG and give you the closest wins,
Cool.
which is, on average, how many breaths does the human body take every day?
How many breaths does the human body take every day? See, Martin's doing his maths. He's working this out.
He's like counting his breaths for 10 seconds. And then he's going to multiply it by...
Okay.
Mm.
Every breath.
Okay.
Fox 5 Morning News starts. Look over there. And it starts right now.
Yes, Alex.
How many breaths in a day? Does that
every day.
include?
Yeah.
So that's a full 24-hour window.
Yeah. Sleep as well. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I think I've done something terrible with my calculations here. I was trying to work this out, but that seems like way too few.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've messed up.
Okay.
Okay. What was your guess?
Come back to me. I don't want to guess. It's way too low. Martin's working this out. Go to Martin. Pass. Pass is my guess.
I don't know how many times
You
you breathe in
pass.
a minute. That's the issue. Okay, so I'm thinking we breathe what is it every 5 to 6 seconds probably? That would be 10 per minute. 10 per minute times 60 would be 600 an hour. 600 times 12 would be 7,200 times 2, 14,400. 14,400.
Okay. That's
That'd be 10 breaths a
I'm
minute.
impressed by that mental maths, that calculation. That's good. That's good stuff.
I think is that right? I don't even know.
So
Tired.
So I'm gonna go higher than that, but it's because I was trying to do that same calculation, but I was working it out as 20 breaths a minute. I was thinking one every 3 seconds instead of one every 5 seconds.
Right.
So what did you say, Martin? 14,000 something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work it out.
Yeah.
I for some reason I came to 2,500, but I'm just going to say 15,000.
You'd be dead.
You went from 20 breaths a minute and ended up with 2,500 for the whole day.
I don't know. It just all depends on how
Well,
many
that's
times
why
you
it
breathe a minute.
clearly didn't. I clearly failed.
3 seconds.
Oh man. Well, so what is your actual guess, Alex? What was it?
Maybe it was 20. I'm going to say 15,000.
What?
But maybe I just missed a zero off,
classic
and maybe
Alex.
it was 25,000.
Classic Alex.
Oh, wow.
Well, as it
So
happens,
that was just over. I'm going higher than Martin's, right?
you are going higher than
Just,
Martin's,
yeah.
Only one of you, sadly, can be closest, and the one who is closest is Alex, because the answer is, having been thoroughly, very discernibly calculated by Alex, the actual answer is an average of 20,000 a day.
Okay. Yeah.
So actually, I think I just missed a zero off my calculations.
Because your 25,000 would have been
calculated-
closer as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all depends on how
Something
many
again.
times you breathe per minute. Is it one every 3 seconds? Does that seem reasonable?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, if you're not doing deep breaths.
20 a minute.
Yeah.
It's a bit higher
Yeah.
than the average, but some people probably breathe a lot and some people breathe very little. So, in the chat, did anybody get close? Oh, Jonah Isaac got bang on with 20,000. Well done. And then
Very good.
Tamim
Nicely done.
Fanush and Old Greg's Creamy Baileys both got close with 21,600 and 21,000 respectively. Well done, everyone.
Old
Well
Greg's
done, you
Creamy
clearly-
Baileys is running away with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea Quintana says, I'm like 1 hour, 40 minutes behind. Well then.
Utterly confused about what we're saying.
Andrea's just
That was kind of in the
skip back
comments.
to the beginning and enjoy the ride. So
But they're going to love this shout out 1 hour, 40 minutes from
they
now.
really
So,
are.
Oh, yeah.
They really are.
Big time.
It's like time travel. So on to question number 7. And it's 4-2 going into the final questions. Still definitely room for Martin to come up from behind and take Alex. Overtake Alex.
Phil.
Now this is a mean question. If you like board games, maybe you'll know this. Otherwise, this is just a wild stab in the dark. But the question
no.
is, nonetheless,
That's not good. 2 behind with 4 questions to go.
what is the grid size of a Scrabble board?
And what, in centimeters?
No, by squares. Like how many squares on the grid? Give me 2 numbers, X by X. Give me that.
Fox 5 Morning News starts. Look over there. And it starts right now.
Yes, Alex.
no idea, to be honest. Do you know what? It's bad. I've hardly ever played Scrabble. I couldn't even tell you what the actual board looks like. So
What?
I'm going to guess 25 by 25.
That
You've-
would be incorrect.
You've never played Scrabble? I think it's a little bit lower than that. Like, my initial thought was 16 by 16, but I don't know.
I'm going to give you that because it's 15 by 15. So you're so close.
okay.
I think that's a very, very good educated guess.
Give me a point.
Are they triple?
I don't understand how.
So does it go?
how
Does
that
it?
works.
I imagine then it goes 7, then the triple word score,
Wasn't-
then 7, right? Or letter score.
Yeah.
Ones that are at the edge, in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Cool.
So it wasn't closest wins, and Martin got the point, even though he gave the wrong answer. What's
Well,
going on, Robin?
you're still a point ahead, and Quizmaster makes the rules. There are no rules.
I can't believe you've never played Scrabble.
Well, I played it a little bit when I was younger, but I just it's never come up since I've been a grown up. Like that's kind of been considered like, oh, everyone's already played Scrabble, so no one really plays Scrabble when at board game nights, do they? They play some obscure new game that's come out. That's what always brings to the table. So I've
Yeah,
never
of course,
actually
yeah. Yes, yeah, same.
played it in my adult life.
Yeah, some of
Um,
those classics are.
You're like the girl in Jumanji. I quit playing board games 5 years ago.
But I didn't. I like board games.
Yeah,
I
we
just,
played some good games
Oh.
together. I mean,
yeah.
confession time. I've never played Scrabble.
What?
Not even once. Never had it
Oh.
growing up.
There are dozens of us. Dozens of us.
And
Out of the woodwork.
And at this point in my life, it's now become a kind of point of pride. And everyone else I know, literally everyone else I know, has played Scrabble, apart from Alex, apparently. Oh no, you have played Scrabble at least once.
Yeah, I have before.
They're able to talk about the points of the letters and like stuff and tactics. I have no idea what you're talking about. As in, I do know what you're talking about, but I have no tangible, relatable experience.
I'm not a frequent Scrabbler. I just have played it before.
Yeah. I've played other word games like Upwards. That was a game that I played a lot. That was a good game. It's kind of like Scrabble. It's not the same. So it's nothing like Scrabble. Never mind.
Scrabble, but not.
In the chat, some people got it spot on. Jonah Isaac,
Wow.
yet again, 15 by 15, and Jace Soma. Well done. Well done.
Well done.
And everyone else is a bit off. Jonah Isaac says, I'm going back to chess. Wise choice. Chess is a good game.
That is good.
Chess is the intellectual game. Yes, indeed. So let's go back to the quiz, and we're on question number 8. This is a test of your driving knowledge.
Okay.
Which road safety device was invented in 1934 by Percy Shaw? Oh, that was Martin.
Will there be cat's eyes?
Oh, it would be cat's eyes. Well done. Yeah. Did you actually know they were invented in 1934? Or was I just?
I didn't, but often that's when a safety device on the road, that's the one that's often comes up.
It's going to be the one, yeah.
If I had to guess, I would have thought it was more recent than that, but interesting.
Everything, yeah.
I was going to go for you said road safety device, but I completely misheard the road there. So seat belts or airbags or something. Which would have been totally wrong. That's more of a car safety device, I guess.
I guess, except cars are always on the road, right? They're not. Your seatbelt is less essential when you're in your driveway. So I think that's a logical thing to do. But yes, Martin, you are so fast. I'm not sure anyone in the chat got it in time before the answer. Old Greg's Creamy Baileys did say, is it cat's eyes, perchance? So, but I'm not sure about the timing, whether that was just before or just after you gave your answer. But I think Old Greg is.
They said airbag, then damn, followed by is it cat's eyes? So I think they had a guess, realized it was wrong, and then
how they go. Well, I think Old Greg is in the lead anyway, and it's we're going into question 9, I believe, and it's 4-all.
Ooh,
oh my goodness gracious!
Attention.
Oh my goodness gracious! This is definitely a fingers on buzzers question, fellas, because it's a true or false. Classic true or false.
I don't even know if you want to have your finger on a buzzer on this one. It's always worse to get it wrong than to just pick up the answer. Yeah. Anyway, yes, sorry.
In the Super Bowl.
Morning news starts. Look over there. And it starts right now.
Yes, Alex?
It's true. It's 100% true.
I'll finish the question. In the Super Bowl, the Patriots have lost the final more times than they've won. True or false?
It's absolutely true.
Yes, Martin?
I think that's true.
You'd both be wrong. It's false.
There we go. There we go.
They've won 6 and lost 5.
There we are.
And no, Alex, I wasn't going to let you buzz in after I told you the answer.
It's always true, though. Statistically, I think you're probably.
It has always been true in the past, yeah. This time I thought I'm going to do it the other way around this time.
Nice. Yeah. 6-5. Interesting. Because that was Tom Brady, wasn't it? Was he the
Basically,
Patriots?
I think those 6 wins are all with him.
Yeah.
I think 1 loss maybe as well. Maybe he wasn't
Did
there
they lose
for that
recently?
game.
Did they lose?
Did they just lose?
I can't remember. No.
Because hasn't he? Was he in this year's? Was Tom Brady? Was last year Tom Brady's final one, or was it this year's?
Oh, I don't even know.
Oh, yeah.
He keeps on coming back, doesn't he?
That's the problem. How many times can someone retire?
Yeah.
So in the chat we had a mixture, but spiffing. Old Greg's Creamy Baileys and Jace Soma all said false. Well done.
Good.
Got it. Very good. Very good.
Yourselves a point. So I believe we're going into the final question, and it is 4-all. It's
The winner
tense.
takes
Oh
all.
my God.
It's tight.
I
Whoever
hate
gets
this.
this right can take the trophy home if they win more quizzes in the future.
That's absolutely not true. But yeah. Plus, Martin's got the trophy, and none of us are ever seeing it ever again. So
Yeah.
You can take a trophy home.
A trophy.
Just
Yeah.
have to go and get one commissioned.
And now we just see through the magic, and Alex goes off screen, and then behind Martin, Alex just turns up, grabs that painting off the wall, takes it back to his got my trophy.
This will do. Just I've
Just
got.
take something.
Turns up next week, just with my head.
Just takes the sofa Martin's sitting on. Just,
I got my trophy.
okay, final question for the win.
Okay.
What is the largest object in our solar system?
Starts, look over there. And it starts right now.
Oh, I think I heard Delia first.
don't you dare! How? Oh, this is outrageous.
Would that be? This is a trick question. I mean, I suppose it's the sun.
It is the sun.
What?
The comeback is complete.
Done. Well done.
He can scout up the trophy once more and hold it tight tonight in bed.
Alex, was that going to be your answer?
Obviously, yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Oh,
It was a trick question.
There was a part of my brain where I was like, yeah, in fairness, it like for a microsecond, I was like, Jupiter, obviously.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh no, it's going to be the sun. Yeah. So 5-4 to Martin, victory. Sorry, Alex. Commiserations. You did well. I mean, you can't get closer than that. 1 point's difference with almost every
don't-
question awarded,
Don't even.
and I appreciate that. I hope. Yeah. I hope the wooden spoon is good enough for you. Would you like the bonus question?
What?
Oh, actually, no. In the comments,
I would
stuff
love
like
the bonus question.
that. Oh wow, yeah, loads of people got it. We got.
Did anyone say Jupiter?
No, actually. Someone did say Boris Johnson, but I think that's a joke. The Jagman 22, Jonah Isaac, and Jay Soma were all the first three to get sun in the answer.
Very nice.
There does
very
sound. Some people are definitely unhappy with the results of the quiz.
Why?
I don't know why, Martin.
Who's unhappy?
I don't
I'm
think
coming
it's.
for you.
I don't think it's.
What did I do?
I don't think it's any anti-Martin
Alex-
sentiment so much as it's just pro-Alex sentiment. Which
Alex
is,
got cheated again, according to Jane.
Who
Isaac.
says that?
Well, in fairness, Martin, look.
Come on now.
I hate
Come
to
on now.
blemish your record, but you did get a question wrong, and Robin just gave you the point. I hate to say it.
You said
I
25.
hate to say it.
I can be.
25.
I
Yeah,
can
but
be
I
too
mean-
generous.
How big's your
It wasn't.
table?
It wasn't a closest wins, is what I remember.
Mm.
That's
That's
all
true.
I remember.
This is
from
very
it.
true.
And
It's fine. We can go back and, point out points that were, given to you. I'm not that kind of person, but, if we want.
I'm sure I can find examples where you are that kind of person.
I will make a note, and I must.
I'm petty.
I must learn my lesson and be less generous in future, and I must be hard and fast and ruthless as a quizmaster, and deny all points for any reason whatsoever. That's the lesson
I mean,
I've learned
look,
today.
hey, if that's the rule, that's fine. Let's just apply it consistently.
To be fair, you were a little bit like the villain in a movie. It's like, I don't want to kill you. With that, when we're at 4-2, I don't want to kill you. I'll let the wolves do it, and then you left me with the wolves, and I killed them all and came back and killed you, the villain. / this quiz.
Are you referring to me or Robin? As
I'm
the
not sure.
Just the
I
quiz.
thought it was me at first.
The quiz, as in like you spared my life when I was down, and then I came back to win it.
It's true.
Because you were thinking
Oh,
of
okay.
sympathy to make it closer, the quiz, because Alex was running away with it.
Oh, I see.
And then
I see.
Then yeah.
And that makes me the villain. Yeah, sure.
No,
I like the
no,
logic here.
no,
This
no.
is-
No, it doesn't make you the villain, it's just the analogy. But in any case, I think it was a fair and just win. Especially when I worked it all out for
It was,
14,400, and you said 15,000.
That was actually very impressive. That was.
I mean, it's wrong, but yeah.
Anyway,
It's definitely
bonus
wrong.
question, which is the closest wins, as is tradition.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Not quite sure why this is the question. I just had it was on my mind, and I thought, oh, where was that? What year was the contraceptive pill approved for release?
This was on your mind, Robin.
That was,
Yeah.
that was, of course, 1962.
Okay, Martin's guess, 1962. Alex?
News starts. Look over there. And it starts right now.
1962 is a good guess. I'm going to go for 1971.
I actually think it's going to be earlier now. Can I adjust to 1959? Because it was the 60s, wasn't it, when it was like widely adopted?
Mm.
But I think it's probably approved
Oh, was
actually
that-
slightly
oh,
earlier.
Yeah, it's an essential part of the
I
sexual
go
revolution. Yeah.
59.
I mean, you could have gone for 69 and you'd still be winning the point because it was 1960.
There we go.
You just edged yourself
Oh,
even
well, there you
closer to the correct answer. Yeah. Yeah, well done.
Well done, Martin. Bravo.
Hope you're happy.
This is me.
Hope you're happy.
Slow,
Hope the money breaks
this
the
is me
cheese.
slow clapping you.
Yeah.
Oh
nice.
my gosh.
Nice.
This is
It's turned sour. It's turned
With all
sour.
the-
Yeah.
I hope you spend the time on some lessons in some grace and
And decorum. Yeah. That's the plan. That's the plan.
I think I can
I think the
see-
quiz leaderboard needs to be updated as well, just to reflect
Oh,
the.
it does indeed. I do feel like maybe
Yeah, that's fine then.
we're on the verge of Alex becoming the Jason Momoa in Fast X of the podcast. He's going to be out for revenge.
Or Jason Bourne, or Jason from Jason and Freddy fame, if it goes too far. Yeah. Or some or all of the above. Yeah. Yep.
Any Jasons in any work of fiction. Yeah.
Exactly.
Take
Yeah,
your
they're
pick.
always out for revenge. Yeah. True. True.
Right.
Oh, so Brian Jenkins in the chat says,
Yeah.
"What are cat's eyes? Can someone Americanize that for me? Any
Oh.
Ah, they're called something
care
else.
to expand on those?"
Oh, right.
Yeah, the little reflective bits that are in the middle. Surely they're worldwide. That are reflective bits in the middle of the road, like what 2-3 meter intervals usually along like highways and stuff,
Yeah.
and they reflect the car beams so that you can see where the road markings are.
Like two little dots in the middle of the road.
Yeah, there's little dots.
Yeah, you must.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if America doesn't have them.
Yeah, surely. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'd
They
like
probably
to.
just call them something different.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Who invented them? Who was it again?
I'd say Percy Shaw, but is it? Yeah, Percy Shaw.
Percy
Shaw.
Okay.
Why do you call them cat's eyes, Percy? Because my cat's eyes.
Yeah.
I've been slaughtering cats.
Because my cat got hit by a car, and as it looked up at me and it splattered mess, I could just see into its eyes, and I thought, hold on a second, there's a business idea here. And so I asked someone if I could get millions of cats, slaughter them all, and put them in the middle of the road, and they said it wasn't practical. So instead, I invented a glass slash some kind of fiberglass.
Oh, is it fiberglass?
I don't know what it is.
No.
Something
I
strong. I
assume
was
it
going to say
was, yeah.
glass, but it's probably not glass, is it? 'Cause
Oh, it could be glass.
when trucks crush them, I don't know.
Yeah, but they're kind of contained in these plastic cases. They're pretty safe, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably knowing back then safety standards, it was probably asbestos or something, wasn't like that? Was
Lump of asbestos. Oh, well, thanks, Robin. That was a damn good quiz.
Some
and
glowing
Oh,
plutonium.
why, thank you. Thank you.
and
very
also
That was a good quiz.
damn
Well
good
done, Martin.
hosting considering
And well done,
you've
Martin.
you've been on the run for so long. I'm straight back in and done a fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for an excellent podcast with really interesting facts and really interesting deathbed confessions. I've been feeling a bit rusty, so
Well,
I'm glad to have had you two for company on my first podcast back.
It was nice how we didn't really like plan so much that like what we didn't know what each of us were going to talk about necessarily. So it was interesting that we did Roswell, JFK, and one of the like biggest
Dahlia,
unsolved
yeah.
murders of all time. It's like the crazy like diversity and
Yeah, I
really
really
big
was
stories.
not expecting that to be the case. Yeah,
Cool, yeah.
really good job. Good job, fellas. Good job.
Oh, Robin,
Yeah.
You need to tell us the answer to the riddle.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, for those of you who missed it, who joined us late, or who just can't remember, the riddle for this week's episode is: a girl fell off a 20-foot ladder. She wasn't hurt. How? What are your best guesses, sirs?
The ladder was
I
on a
think
bouncy
I-
castle.
I mean, I think I have a guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know what the answer might be.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that she wasn't all the way up the ladder? She was just on like the first rung.
That is the actual answer. Yes, she was on
Silly.
the bottom rung.
No,
Yeah.
No. She was
It was on a bouncy castle.
No.
she was an astronaut on the moon. She jumped down, but of course, the gravitational pull made it. She made a soft landing on the moon
Mm-hmm.
and was therefore fine.
What's she doing on a ladder on the moon?
They jump
Doesn't
down
make
off.
sense.
They climb down off the ladder, don't they, to get onto the surface?
There you go.
Oh yeah. Okay. Fine. 20 foot though. No.
20 foot. It's fine. You're on the moon.
I
Doesn't
mean,
matter.
actually, that would make sense. That sounds like a legitimate answer. Actually.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm not going to challenge.
Yeah,
that
but
one.
also if that was the answer, that's the exact kind of riddle that would annoy you, Robin. Let's be
yeah,
honest.
yeah, it would. And in fact, we've had a whole.
She was on the moon.
We've had a whole bunch of different answers in the chat, the live chat, and they're all perfectly plausible. Someone said the ladder was lying down on the floor. Well,
Yes.
yeah, that's quite that's quite reasonable.
Yeah.
So
I
it was
do-
on a mattress.
I do have to slightly debate. She says she fell off the ladder. I mean, if she fell off even from one rung or tripped over it when it was on the floor, you could still hurt yourself.
Yeah, and that's the other problem with this riddle. That I was like, if you envisage the scenario, if she fell off it in the street, she could have hit her neck on the edge of the curb, broken neck, dead girl. She could be really young, soft bones, haven't finished stitching together, cracks her skull, brain shrapnel she's dead. Lands on her face, nose goes up into her brain, dead.
Yeah.
Has a buttoned up dress on, gets snagged as she falls, throttles her, she suffocates.
Dead girl.
I want a ladder instructional video from you, Robert. How to not die whilst climbing.
All
the
the ways
ladder.
you can die in the ladder. Yeah.
How to properly fall off a ladder.
My uncle fell off a ladder. He was a sign writer. That was his profession. And he one time fell off a ladder at a height, and his foot got caught in the rung and tore off.
It tore off his whole foot.
Well, apart from one tendon.
Oh my
but
God.
it was hanging on enough
God.
that surgeons were able to stitch it back on.
That's
but
crazy.
It was at a weird angle for the rest of his life, kind of like
Oh.
stuck out a bit.
I take it he didn't do that job anymore.
I think he did. I think he did.
Just
Blimey.
carried on.
Wow.
I just remember him
Oh,
coming
That's
to visit one time with this entire leg in the cast, and I was like, "Oh, what happened to you, Uncle?" I was like, "Oh," you know. Questions you wish you didn't ask.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh man. Imagine if you were the first responder or the homeowner.
I mean, yeah.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh,
Old Greg Creamy
Yeah.
Bailey's in the chat just says, "Wow, that escalated quickly." And yeah, that did. That went from 0 to 100 real quick. Didn't it?
Yeah.
We were like,
folks.
"Oh, Robin, I'd love to hear an instructional video from you." And you're actually like, "Actually, do you know what? Ladders aren't a joke."
Ladders are a serious hazard.
Here's a personal anecdote from me and my family.
I wasn't joking about that girl. These things actually happen.
That was my sister.
Yeah. Fell into the road, cracked skull, dead.
The dead girl. Fell off the bottom rung into an open manhole. Dead girl.
It's like that book of what's it called? Bunny Suicides or whatever. Fairy
Oh
Suicides.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bestseller back in the day. Right
Just
then.
ladders.
Well,
But
on that
that's
cheerful
sentiment.
note, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you so much for being here with us live and for listening to us on the podcast platform of your choice and watching us on YouTube. We're really, really grateful. And another great, huge thanks to all of our Patreon supporters and YouTube members. And, of course, to all of us like Matt Quick, who give us a super thanks. You're amazing. Thank you so much. And we
That
shall
was
see
incredible.
you
Thank you so much.
next week.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
For now.